Hey, what is going on, guys? We're going to give this a go. I'm not sure how it's going to work, honestly. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens. Wait to see if anybody's in here. Sounds like it's playing through my phone. Where I'm hearing the audio from. All right, let me see. All right, so I've got a phone that I'm going to try and use here as well. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go for it. We're going to try and do a live build on the SMT10 and see what happens. I've got my camera, so it's going to be a little bit weird because I'm going to stop doing the live stream to do the actual recording of the edited version of this build that you guys want to see. So we're going to try and do both in one thing and try and make everybody happy. I'm not sure how it's going to work for the live stream, so this is a test, and we will just see what's going on. I'm actually going to go, because this is a test, and see how it actually looks on the page itself. And if we are actually live, how it actually looks on there it is. The page itself. James Price, how's it going? And if we are actually live, and JRAM, JB, we've got a couple people in here. All right, so it looks like it's working. And so I'm going to start on the part bag here, 1, and we'll get it going. So start building. I just need to check the Facebook stream. I'm using StreamYard because it'll stream to both. And see if it's working on that page as well. I don't stream very often to Facebook, so it says we're live. All right. Okay, there we go. I can see you all now. Theodore McDowell is over on Facebook, and so we got a couple of both on both. Awesome, cool. Well, let's go ahead and get building. I've started off bad already because I left the manual over here. As well as my Coke. It's late at night, so I'm going to need some Coke here to stay awake. A little bit of caffeine. Got my GH5 here with a little reference monitor so I can see when I'm over here what I'm doing on the screen. But you guys get to see how these videos are made. It's nothing glamorous, kind of just a lot of work. Hey, Michael Lucrez here, Aiden Ross. So when I do the video stuff, I'm going to start this, stop it, and I'll ignore you guys during that time and see if we can get both things accomplished where we're doing the actual live build in front of you guys, and then after I do parts, kind of stopping to do this. So here we go. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to CCxRC, and today on the bench we have the SMT10 build. Part 1 of the build. We're going to be going through bag A. Here it's going to be axles and diffs, and we've got plastic bag 1 that's going to have the axle housings, casings, diff casings, all the things that we need in here as well. And then I've got these extra little tubes that we're going to put into the axles as we go. So at some point we'll run down to the garage, hit the grinder with the axles, and get going. So first thing we're going to do is get these out of the bags and get things sorted with the parts that we need so that we're ready to build, because step number 1 is right here. Step number 1 is right here, and that's going to be 2 diffs that we have to build. And for that, I'm going to be using Cal RC Udder Butter instead of the grease that comes with it. I use Udder Butter in a lot of mine, and so that's what I'm going to do. Waterproof and awesome. Sweet, let's get it all out. All right, stop recording. I think everything's working. Hard to manage 2 things at once. Hey, Carlos, thanks for stopping in. Good day from Australia. All right. all the parts coming out. You can see how I talk different too when I'm on the camera. My wife makes fun of me from the other room all the time. Much more chilled and laid back in just normal conversation. So we're going to need these pieces for the diffs. Not that yet, or that. I'm going to need one of these. Hey Juan, how's it going? JMRCs, thanks. You're gonna get building in here. So these are gonna be the cases that are gonna go on here. Actually, I should do that to camera. All right. All right, so I'm just going through all the parts that are in here, and you can already kind of see how the pieces go. These are gonna mount on here. We're also getting the different diff pieces out here that we're gonna go ahead and build with. So yeah. All right, actually, here's what we're going to need. And then the metal pieces out of there. Sweet. Links. Guess I could just start taking all the pieces off. We're staying safe here, guys. I don't know about all the rest of you, but we're just trying to stay home as much as possible. I got some kits to work on. And the Kyosho finally came in, and I was able to pick that up, help our hobby town out before they shut down for a while for the safety of their employees. So I wanted to support them, so picked up a few things from them. If we get them some extra income going into this time. All right, so question from Aiden Ross. If you guys have seen this, you want to help them out. Do you guys have advice for getting in the Arma Granite 4x4 motor? What do you mean by getting in the motor? You want a new motor for it or what? Tyler Hopwood, how's it going? Anything starts going wrong over there, guys, let me know, and hopefully I'll catch it when you mention it. Just trying to go through and clean these pieces off here. Throw out all the extra plastic. So we do need these diff casings. I need to get a bookmark. I just keep closing the book. That's a mistake. So I think all we need, actually we have right here for this part. So let's go ahead and push all the extra plastics out of the way, and we'll grab and do what we have here. All right. I know some people like to put diff oil in these. I don't do that. I just put grease in them, and I run them till they die. Which once you, these are like hot metal gears right here. These bevel gear sets, and so these will go under 3S brushless power. So I actually have already ordered the HD gears to put in there. But it's so easy to get to. I'm just going to go ahead and install it as is for now. And then when I start to hear clicking, after I abuse the truck in the beginning, we'll go ahead and swap these out. But we're just going to get these pieces kind of arranged here. This is going to be the bag we're going to want. Some bearings. Tyler Hopwood says, awesome you play with your kids. He got his daughter Electrax Teton. She loves it so far. That's awesome. Need to get yourself a monster truck? Yeah, man. Monster trucks are awesome. So, all right. Just a few pieces. Need the screws for this, which are these little ones in here. I don't see them in that bag. maybe here. And I need my little calipers. Of course, they wouldn't be up here, would they? That would be too smart of me to have kept them up here. Don't need to roll on all this stuff. So using my QuickLinks mat, nice little magnet mat. I just kind of separate some stuff out here by sizes. I have the little pads, but I don't feel like getting them. When I go down to do the grinding, I'll grab one or two. But for this little bit of stuff, we're just going to rock it on here. The axles are pretty easy to assemble, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. So we've got 12 of these, 4 of these needed, and these little guys here. Awesome. Cool, here we go. Goodbye. I'm gonna basically get the pieces I need ready so that I can show people what they need for that part. Need all these little guys here. Why doesn't it feel like there's enough of those? Having a look at this. All right, so 4. These bigger ones are going to sit here. Small ones. Here's the one thing with the magnet mats. What's going on, Steve? RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. Any plans for major mods like rear steer or anything like that? The main modifications are going to be adding the tubes. I will eventually change the shocks. I'm changing the trailing arms to metal. And I'm doing metal. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing. There's a lot of metal pieces for it. Upgrades on the bevel gear set and the ring gear. These little guys and these here. We're going to change these out because they strip under the power that I put through it. Wrong one. This is the longer one. What's going on, quirks and features? I'm actually going to wish I'm not on a magnet here soon. Although, anytime I would say something like that, the first time you drop a screw to the floor and you can't find it, you're always glad that you're using the magnets. All right, so that's going to go down. These are going to go across. That's right. I think I'd assembled one of these before. As I have. There it is. Then we'll add the grease to that one. All right. Got it ready-ish. We're going to have to grease it all. That's just going to be the demo one to pull apart and show how it went together. And the pieces that are involved will be laid out here 4 screws. That bar we need. And we need this and one of the rings. Cool. Team Sear Golf asks, where did you get the son of a digger fire body at? All right, so I got that at it was on the Solid Axle Monster Mayhem group. Bar 8 New Sour posted it for sale on there. It's $170 shipped, and so I said go for it. Let's do it. I actually waited. I seen if somebody else wanted it, and then after maybe an hour, a little more, I had to have it. I wanted to give somebody else the opportunity to get it, and then the Megalodon body was also made for this as well. That was the first goal for this, is to build a Megalodon fire, and then the son of a digger fire just happened to come up, and that was too awesome to let pass up. So yeah. That's where it's from. Trying to figure this all out, guys. Very cool. All right, keep building. All right, I'm going to do the video here. We're going to do a little talking for this. Zoom it in. Frame it up. Like so. Do that. All right, guys, so here are the pieces that we're going to need for step 1. Other than the little pinion gear, we're not going to do that. We're first going to assemble the diffs like so. And I don't have any grease in this yet, but you can see how the gears go in here. The bigger one, you've got 2 sizes here. You've got 2 bigger ones, 2 smaller. One of the big ones goes down in the bottom. Got to wait for focus here. Yay. So the bigger one goes on the bottom. You put the 2 on the bar. There's a metal bar that they sit on, which is pretty obvious in the size that it fits through. And then this one's going to cap it. But before we go ahead and cap this, we do need to put some grease in here, which is where I'm going to use my QCxRC Udder Butter. We're going to go ahead and put that on. Then we've got this little what are these things called? Help me out, guys. These are little gasket type thing. What is it called? Should I just call it a gasket? Not really. It's like a paper seal. Is anybody helping me? Hey, Francois, how's it going? No help. The O-ring. It's an onion ring. It's not really a shim. It's more of like a gasket, like a seal that goes in here. But anyway, so you're just gonna go ahead and take this little shim type O-ring thing here, paper, and put it in between. And you're also going to have that set, and that's what's going to take your bevel gear, and it's going to seat right in like this. And once everything's all greased up, that'll be good to go. You'll screw it in. So let's go ahead and get to doing that. Where were you guys when I needed you? This is what happens. Like it's 11:30, and I just start to brain fart on things. All right, that is way more than I want. Put on a glove here. Just gonna go ahead and get some of this grease in here, and as we spin it, it's gonna work itself on to the other gears. And this is the red. I know that Josh Rhodes was saying he had like a green type of grease that looked a little bit less tacky than this, but this is kind of a tacky, so I'm not going to put too much in there. I don't want it to be really thick. and tacky a little bit more than that, because we're going to be putting this last gear up on top. I got my gloves on here for applying this. So like so. Go. And then we're going to go ahead and take this seal and put it on here. I usually put a little bit on as well. Just kind of holds everything in place. I'm going to put this gear on. We're just getting greased on everything just for good measure. Actually, we had 2 of these stuck together because I already had one on this. There we go. Now we're cooking. All right, make sure I'm showing it here. That's the other thing I always have trouble with is making sure I'm in the shot, especially when I zoomed in like this. I'm so focused on actually working on it. So we've got our seal in here. Put a little bit of grease on all of this. And just seal it up. There we go. What are you guys working on tonight? Virus safety. Wear a glove. Fog City RC, what's going on? I'll save those, and then we're going to go ahead and first of all screw these in, and we'll be good to go. So I'm going to cry because I can't find my 1.5 millimeter. Here it is. So you're going to go ahead and take these 4 screws, and we're going to go ahead and screw it together. And I've got a whole bunch of people on a live stream right now that are going to help me if I mess up and skip something. To the opposite side. And tighten that at the end. I use power tools, but I try to give myself room to just kind of, into plastic, do the last part by hand. What's going on? Drifter Maniacs, Epic RC Video Productions, Mike Eaton. Yes, you can call me Mike Eaton for sure. All right, so diff numero uno is done, and now we're going to move on to the second one, which is the same thing. And we're going to put our remaining grease on here when we go to install it in the axle, and then the bearings as well are going to go onto that. So next one, you get to see the whole process here. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this one in. Not going to worry about it getting grease on there yet because I'm going to be able to get to that when I start turning the gears. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. What you guys got going on over there? Chainsaw says repainting a body so you can scratch it tomorrow. Nice. I've got a body I need to get to paint on. I actually need to cut it first. It's sitting over on my couch over there. I already washed it. My scissors were. Are you serious? I just dropped the one off. So much hate. All right. So camera. And I'm going to lift it. Oh. There it goes. Need to have them separated, and this is where we're going to want to add the grease. So we've been staying in. I did go up to my hobby town, like I said, to buy some things, but it's literally me to car, ordered it ahead of time, walked up to the door, and you know, self-distance, gave them money, got the products, and try not to make too much of it. but they were closing down anyway. Our state got an order to close up for till June 10th. So I'm just going to kind of add the grease in there like so. Then we're going to put the last gear in here. Like so. We just need to button it up. So we got our ring here. Go ahead and put a little bit of grease down. It's easier actually to line these up on here first. And then to drop this, because it's going to drop on right there where the other the rod runs through it. Those two pins will drop right in there. Button up. Now we just have to screw it closed again. Hey, thanks, Sean's RC Adventures. Yeah, Drifto. Yeah, they're not essential, but they were closing anyway before all of the stuff from the governor came down. And so I was able to get the SCX10 and I was also able to get the Kyosho Mini Toyota RAV, or 4Runner, not RAV4. Yeah, it's going to make more sense in the close-ups, which I have over here. You're still waiting on the Kyosho Outlaw Pro from Tower, Mike? And you should have contacted me. I have 2 of them. Just the body on the one's not super great. I mean, it's in good condition. The paint just didn't adhere to it right. So if you got magic ways to remove the paint, man, just saying. I knows people that have 2 of them. Okay, so yeah, if you guys can't see, like here was my close-up. Oops, did I just pull it out? There, that's still too far away. But this thing is pretty cool, so we can actually come in here and we could zoom. If you guys don't want to see my ugly mug, I can actually just put it so you see the stuff the whole time. That might be better. Just tilt it. Whoops, nope, that's the wrong way. Now you are seeing my ugly mug. Pan it. Oop. So up and down is opposites, and the other is not. Good to know. But yeah, I just keep this little monitor down here so I can kind of just look down and see for reference what's happening. Mike, man, this one, it wasn't mine. I got it in a trade. But I appreciate that compliment of beating the crap out of my stuff. Does me good to hear that you've seen that. Just a first aid kit. This is my go bag. This is my tool bag for when I'm out on the trail or for up here. This is my tool box of wrenches and stuff. It's just a mini one that I can grab and go carry with me. It's got a few spare parts in it. Someone's asking, yes, the monitor does connect to the DSLR. All right, that's a better shot, I think, for you guys. Oh, it's Travis I was asking. It is not a medical kit. I'll zoom out a little bit here. It was a little zoomy. There we go. So yeah, it does connect to the DSLR, which has an HDMI output. Drifto, man. Yeah, they look cool. I haven't actually been able to open it yet. So there is that. Okay, next part. Cool. Zoom back out on this. See what we got. Oh, I love C-clips. This is my favorite. It's my favorite part ever. E-clips. They look more like a C. I guess they're an E. I hate them. Let's go there. Preset my stuffs. Go. Monster Truck Funds. Thank you, man. All right. So now back to you guys will have to excuse me for a second. I'm going to jump back over here and do the next part. All right, so now the diffs are assembled. We just did this. You can use the grease that does come with it. I opted to use my my grease, but it does come with grease and thread lock in here. All right, so the next part that we have to do is this E-clip holding the little pinion gear onto the rod, which are all set out here by me. Yours truly went ahead and did that already. And so the first thing that I do is I should put my glove back on. I only need a little. I'm just going to take a little bit of grease, put it on right here, and that's going to allow this to stay kind of in place. And I'm just going to forget the glove for now. So it'll allow it to kind of just sit in here. So even though I'm holding it sideways, it should come out. It's not coming out. And that just allows you to not have to mess around with it. There we go. That slides on there. And then my favorite part is putting these E-clips on. Absolutely hate this. And I wish there was another way. And that is where this mat comes in handy, this magnet mat. If I jack this up, hopefully it'll just land on the magnet. There. Boom. We're on. So that one's done. We're going to be able to put it in here in a second. Or actually, no, it's going to go in the axle. I'm going to redo that. I messed up. All right, so this one's done. It'll go. All right, so this one is done and ready to go into the axles when we start assembling those next. You guys see how many mistakes I make? I'm like a blundering idiot when I do these. I try and tell people. All right. We got saying, I think the E-clips just have to laugh about, yeah, how many people would be on their hands and knees looking for them, right? All right, so let's see. Usually I don't do both of them right. One of them usually gets messed up. Oh, they both worked perfectly. Now we're on to the next phase. This part I know very well because I've broken so many of these axles over time. We're going to be basically assembling these, which is really easy to do. So basically they're going to drop into our axle. And so this is the front. And so we're just going to follow the direction that they're saying to put these. And hopefully we won't have them going opposite directions when we're done. Because if you have the diff in flipped the wrong way, front and rear, both of them will drive different directions. So we just need to make sure that it's going to be working properly. So I'm just going to follow what they're saying for the front, looking at what the short side is here of the axle and the long side, and we're going to drop our diff in that way. All right, so let's do it. These are both the same. All right. Hey, Bob, how's it going? Bob Hips here. Travis Paul says he sent a couple e-clips across the shop last night. Man, it's so easy to do. I hate those things. All right. Axles, though, I do like these. I do need a new glove. This is going to require lots of grease. And I shouldn't be wasting these because I think they're going to be hard to get new ones. My little surgical gloves. All right, so again, going by how the manual says and shows it, it would be in this direction. We still need to install the bearings, which I haven't done yet because we were waiting. So let me go ahead and get these ready. Some grease on stuff. And the thing you could do is you could put like a towel down. And that's a tight fit. On here if you don't want to get grease on your mat. My stuff just gets so used all the time. It's going to be replaceable. All right, so these are ready. But for the sake of being a good example, I will put down paper here. How's that? All right. Things that we need to pay attention to are the other bearings that we're going to need. They're going to go inside the axle before the ring or the pinion gear goes in. All right, there's one. Last bearing. Now everything's getting slippery, guys. Bob, how long have I been live? It says I've been live for 37 minutes, and I'm just getting done with the first axle. But I've been stopping and talking and not moving as fast as I could be. So we're going to go ahead and take this bearing and drop her in here. Push her into place. You can see her in there. And then bearing number 2 is going to go there. And then we're going to put some grease onto our ring. And then we're going to put some grease here into our pinion. And we're going to just push it right on through to the other side. What projects are you guys working on? Are any of you guys working from home or have to stay home now because of the virus? And working on RC stuff? All right, here you guys go. That's all we got. Bearings in, ring gear in, and then it is showing the axle this way and the diff going in this direction. So this is our front. So we're going to go ahead and grease this up. Get enough in there. Sometimes I overdo it, sometimes I underdo it. I'm not sure exactly what I like in these SMT10s just yet. That's looking pretty good. I'll leave that there, get to that stage with the other axle now. So we're going to go to the rear, and I'm going to flip the pages to get to the rear to make sure that I'm following the directions on how they want that all placed. Because, yeah, we are going to actually put the diff in the opposite direction here. So it'll be over on this side. Where this is to the left, it'll be on the right. So if you guys watching here, if it's on this side here, on this one, it's going to be on the other side. It's hard to see. Once I get done, I'll show you. Now I got grease all over that. Yay. Magnets are fun. Make it easier for myself. Chuck Hall, new shock towers, turnbuckles, and A-arm last crash. Ooh. Sounds like quite a crash, man. George Antos, what RC do you recommend to get into solid axle monster truck? There aren't a lot of them to get into it. If you want like a ready to run or a kit like this one, you can buy them if you go to Solid Axle Monster Mayhem group. There's a lot of them for sale already, ready to run, that are like race ready, or there are. You can also just get like the SMT10 kit, like I'm working on now, or they make the ready to run Gravedigger version if you don't want to do any building. So yeah, any of those. I love my Freestyle RCs. Those are custom, and they're pricey. They are race trucks, and you pay race prices for them. All right, so getting back to where we are with this, just need to put some grease onto our pinion gear, and I don't know why I'm holding that, but we need the axle. Push it through. Good to go. Now again, be careful. You got to do this right. This goes on the opposite way. I'm doing these like this because, well, honestly, because I I don't want to have to do the glove over and over. So while I have to use the grease, I'm going ahead and trying to get these things knocked out. So you will notice that these are opposite directions, and that is how it says to do it in the manual. And I am just following the manual to make sure that when it's all put together, you don't have to take it apart and flip one of them. You can see here how it shows it on the right. So this is going to be my front, and that's going to be the rear. So it's showing rear here. Zoom it out. All right, so it's showing rear here. You can see the side that that's on, which is the opposite of what we did the front. And so we're good to go. Just need to screw it all up. And by screw it all up, I don't mean mess it all up. I mean screw it together. Tree at half throttle, Chuck Hall says. Ouch. Yeah, so this is a Cow RC work mat. These things are awesome. So now we need these medium-sized screws and these little side pieces to hold the diff in the axle. So basically 4 of these screws per axle, and we're good to go. And these are going to run on a 2mm driver. Mine is not in a 2 right now. We're going to be going around a little bit on our build because I have a couple of things I'm doing differently. I'm holding the 1.5. Where did I put the 2? Probably, I was using it as my bookmark. It probably fell out when I was looking at directions. So that's cool. If I have another one in here, you guys get to see all the fun stuff that doesn't make it in the video. All the mistakes. So here is my other 2. These are the Energy ones. The ones I was using were the MIP. All right. So just going to go right over here. Put it in like so. You guys kind of catch that live or no? Not really. I need to probably tilt up more, huh? Or come from a different angle. So just putting these little black pieces right here that kind of hold it in place. It's pretty obvious when you see it how it works. It just kind of goes over and screws in. Hey, Ross from Australia. Dennis Matson got here late. We are building the SMT10 Builders Kit. And I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but I'm also trying to record the actual build video at the same time. So We'll see how, if any of it turns out any good, or if I screw up both of them by doing it this way. All right. It's working. Now I have to remember that what I want to do is I want to put in these tubes. So this is rear, front. How am I going to designate that for myself? Probably just put the rear stuff together like that. That way I know it's my rear when I get to going further. I just put the rear axles in based on the direction of the diff. This is our fronts. We're going to have these dog bones on them. They're going to go into the cups on the wheels that are going to allow for steering. All right, so there's a difference between these, I should point out, in that these also have this really big lip. You can see that this one has a raised lip right there. That is the piece that I grind off in order to do, if I show you, somebody was asking why I have to grind it. It'll show you real quick on the rears why you have to grind the tube. These are the same axle pieces for the front and rear, but the problem is that this will not go in. It hits. So it won't allow it to accept it. However, the fronts go in no problem, so you don't need to grind these. But the rear ones, you just have to grind that little, but for the rear ones, you just have to grind that little nub off of there, and it'll work just fine. So you guys up there, it will not fit through this axle tube with the rear. So just have to, we'll take that down and grind that off in just a minute. And I'll carry you live for that as well. All right, so go back to this little process that we're doing. I was kind of worrying that I hadn't put the OCDing and wondering if I put the bearings on those axles before I screwed it in. Chuck Hall says he wants one. A Summit. The Summit has not been anything that I've ever been interested in, honestly. It kind of makes me think of like the Axial Yeti, where I don't know what it was good for unless you had a place to rock race and actually use it as a rock racer. It wasn't good to just like trail ride with. And if you bashed it, you would break it all the time. It's one of the few trucks that I sold. Usually I'm of the mindset of holding on to whatever I can. All right. So that is our front. And I think we're still good. So the next part that I'm going to do is I'm going to install these tubes. I have to remember how these go. So you have to watch these threads that are here, these holes where the trailing arm receivers are going to go. Those have to line up with these tubes. Come on. I feel like focus is a thing you wait for all the time. So you just have to wait. You don't have to wait. You have to make sure that these notches are lined up with where the holes are here, because you're going to be putting long screws through those when you do your trailing arm receivers on there. And so you can see it went in there perfectly. And then when we also screw those on, we'll be good to go. Same with these ones. You can see there's extra holes. That allows you to line everything up. like this, and that will match these holes. The other thing you can do is you could put a little grease on this too so it doesn't spin around in there. Kind of helps it stick. You can move it around as you need to as well to when it comes time to line it all up. But that's how easy those are to install, those little tubes. It's going to add a lot of strength, especially right here where those screws are going through and there's not a lot of plastic in the axle. Having that tube in there really helps that from being a break point, which is where I always broke mine, is on this long side right here where the trailing arms go in. Especially if you go metal trailing arms, it's going to snap when there's no flex in that arm anymore. All right. So that is, just go ahead and put them in both. And then we'll go down and hit the grinder and then get back to these axles. We're kind of going out of order because I've assembled enough of these that I know. All right, same deal. Gonna line up that hole. Push this into place. Boom. That's our rear. And our fronts. Here. So if you put these in, it goes. Beautiful. All right. Slide in the axles. Good to go. All right. Summits are fun. Let's stop recording with this. And I want to do this. All right, so what I'm going to go downstairs and do off camera is I'm just going to hit these with my grinder wheel. All right, so what I'm going to go ahead and go and do off camera is hit these with the grinder wheel, and we'll come back up and show you how they're ground off. All right, but I'm going to carry you guys in the live stream with me and try and do this. See what happens. My greasy hands. All right. It's going to ask me to log in here. You know what? I could be doing this way cooler. I just realized. Yeah, we could have been doing it cool. All right, so you guys can't see me. You're just looking at my desk. All right. How's it going? I'll pull up the chat here. Goggles are on my head. Shoes we get down here. All right. So, out here in the garage, we can get all right. So up here, hit the light. Got some. Doing the thing where when you buy stuff at the grocery store, you leave it in your garage for 2 days before you take it inside. And those were bought a couple days ago. Got the Maximus on the drill press because I have no other room in here for RCs right now. I got this in the mail the other day, also being quarantined or was being quarantined. from Dark Side Designs. Isn't that sweet looking? It's going to go on one of these little axials. All right, I'm just going to get a little... I don't know why I'm doing it left-handed. I'm not left-handed. Hold on, this will be better. Let's see, I hit a little extra. It'll be fine though. See my smooth one here. Making the mistake of watching it on the phone. I bet this is good content right here, really loud. Everyone's like taking their headphones off. All right, that's good enough. There we go. There's my beauty though. Ready to go every day. Just open that garage door and let it rip. Something else new in the mail. RC bash ramps. These can be nice and portable for me for all the stuff I've been running out in the front yard. Yeah. What else we got? Everything's kind of just crammed in here right now. New body for the monster truck, 5T. All kinds of stuff up here. Oh, and this is the goodies. These are some of the new things to do. SCX10, 3, and what's this? Typhon 6S. That's interesting. A buggy? I wonder what I'm doing with a buggy. Don't make sense. Controller central. And well pump. This is another one of the Can-Ams. That'll be our third one, so we can race 3 of them. Absolutely love these little things right here. The dryer's out. This is part of why we didn't do RC Conspiracies this week. This is my whole bin. Oh, this is the other new thing. Right here. I can't see comments right now, guys. Sorry if you're commenting. This is a web-based thing, browser, which is really awkward to use on the phone. But yeah, Mini Z. So that's everything. The little Mini T. These are the small stuff we've been running. Now, got it ready. Oh yeah, so this is what I've been working on, trying to get ready. We have guys coming in to actually put walls in tomorrow. So yeah, I had to get all the nails and stuff out. Yay. Psychedelic. A little rave in here. Crazy. All right. Now I can see what you guys are talking about. Let's close that out. So, comments. Lots of them. Maximus loves his Maximus. I don't treat the outcast like that, but a lot do. JRam02 says, if you don't want to type in success, I'll take it off your hands. I'm excited about it. Doing something a little different as well. That's kind of what I'm excited about. Trying something a little new. Yeah. Zoom back out. So trying to do all this on the fly, and it's not set up for this at all in here. And my other tripod that I could have done this differently with is not here. So sorry. But yeah, I got a lot of projects in the fire, work stuff, this here. Yeah, it's keeping busy for sure. Yeah, I'm like, I just grind off the wrong parts. All right, guys, you can see I've kind of just shaved these down. You can do it with the Dremel. I have a grinder downstairs on my workbench. I just took it to that, and now they should slide into the axle. And they just got to get past it anyway, those tubes. So one thing we're really worrying about is getting them past the tubes. My camera just shut off. This one, give me a little finicky. There it went. Good. I just inspired you to work in the garage. Yeah, my garage needs work. It needs some attention because it's out of control right now. Battery went fast. I have a charger just off camera there. A bunch of chargers actually for camera stuff. All right, zoom it out a little. That's a really tight shot. Josh Rhodes. Yeah, I mean, it's just more communicating with people at this point as we're working, trying to do this at the same time. It's interesting for sure. I really wonder where that MIP wrench went. Not an inexpensive mistake. Good question. Troy's hobbies. Are you going to play with the gearing in your SMT10? I'm not going to do overdrive in mine or underdrive that you can do with the bevel gear sets in your axles. I just plan to do them normal. As you can see, I didn't line up my diffs completely straight, so the ends aren't exactly going the same way. That kind of stuff bothers me a little bit. I should have been paying closer attention when I put my diffs in to make sure that the flat spots were going the same way. Josh Rhodes, is that going to cause me some trouble down the line, not having them be in line? I know with drive shafts, you want to have them phased right. Doesn't look like they have them phased when they show it in the directions here. One of theirs is this way and the other one's up. So, all right, so we can keep going on with the build of the front axle, which we have here. All right, we can continue with the build of the front axle, which we have here. We just need to get some of our knuckles off of here, and we'll be good to go. Just a couple of pieces. These are 113. Josh says he doesn't think so. mean, you probably have to be going crazy for it to be noticeable. All right. So what do we have going on here? Yes, I was a little premature. I have to put the bearings in. First. All right, so I was a little premature. I need to add my bearings in here. A little grease. And waterproof grease. Also makes it a little easier to get things off the mat. Someone's asking, what is my favorite RC car of all time? I really love my ZRD by Freestyle RC. I love the whole build process of that. Oh, crud. You guys are letting me make mistakes here. These have to go in before the bearings. Here we go. Now it's lined up. So I messed this one up too. I do love my clodbusters though a lot too. So these have to go in first, and then we'll put the bearings in, like so, and the actual axle itself. Boom. Everything's spinning right, looking good. Yeah. Joshua's only game I've messed with is the spur itself. Found a Traxxas 50T spur fits perfectly. Interesting. The only thing I ever do is I change the pinion gear, which I have a 17-tooth pinion. Thank you, Riffs RC. Awesome. $5 super chat. It says I don't even want to see his garage. Aiden Ross, how long am I going to be live? Probably till I finish up this particular section here. Just doing the axles. Kind of finish this out for the video. And yeah. You know what else I didn't do? I put on these cases. Get myself out of order here. Be like the good boys and read the directions and follow those. I wouldn't have got myself in trouble doing this. I would have noticed it early enough. And it's easy enough. It's not missing a step necessarily because you can always add that on at any point. They're really accessible, which is what's great about them. Guys know that editing this video is going to be a real pain in the butt. Real pain in the butt. It's going to be so much footage. My computer is going to be like, we don't have enough hard drive space. JRAM02, what are my other hobbies? I have a koi pond. Used to have a fish channel. It just got too much with traveling for work. Had to sell my fish tanks and all that. So it's kind of a bummer. All right, so now we need to put these in. left links. Oh, you want to be in the furthest. So with this one, you want it to be in the furthest hole. And you line this up like so. Just because of the tilt you're going to have on your axle. And it looks like the longer one on the bottom and the shorter on the top. Based on the pictures. The long side of the hub should be assembled to the bottom side of the axle. It actually says that in the directions if I took the time to read it. So there we go. And then this one is going to be all the way to the right hole. So when you're looking at it at the front like this, if you roll it, you want them to be, the screw holes to be at the very front side of these knuckles, carriers. And then we're going to go ahead and screw it in place. Should be too small. There we go. Gonna open up the next baggie that was included in there to get us the right screws. So a little grub screw in that bag still. All right, so we need one of these smaller screws. Yeah. So one of the shorter ones. And that's going to screw right in here. This is where these drills really are nice. When it comes to some of these pieces like this. Well, shoot. So the mat is really great when you work over it. I'm trying to get the video here. And I'm not really working over it very well. There it is. So what do you guys that have extra time now on your hands doing? So yeah, I don't have a whole lot of hobbies. Video is a hobby, so that's why YouTube has kind of become a hobby. Videos actually work, but video and photo was a hobby until it became work for me. And I was doing a YouTube about photography and all that, and I just stopped because it was too much to be work and a hobby about those things that I was doing for work. So I picked up an RC car and I thought, well, this is fun to make videos on. All right, guys, so there it is to this point. I've gone ahead and put the screws in here. Everything's working as it should. So we're good there. Next thing we're going to be installing are these knuckles here, steering knuckles, and we'll then be able to get everything going. The one thing you do have, there's one thing you do have to be aware of is that you don't want to forget to add these, which go up inside of here. And again, if you put grease on there, it'll help them stay in place. So you end up a greasy mess, but you got a tacky grease like this and you put them in and you're less likely to have them fall out while you're trying to install everything in there. Josh Rhodes been building 2 trucks, Gravedigger Ice, and Air Force Afterburner. Nice. Somebody's asking, what's the thoughts on widening the D44 axles on the CA2X to AR60 width to fit with these tires? That would be pretty cool. People have done that. People take Wraiths and buy different. People have taken SCX10s and done it too, where they do a drop chassis to lift it. That's the one thing, is trying to get some lift on it. All right, so now I just need to make sure that I'm paying attention to which one goes where. So there's a number 1 of these and a number 2. And so I'm going to follow their directions and have it sitting this way, and it shows the number 1 being on this side. The number 2 being on this side. So I just need to finish getting these little cups up in here. Sean, I need to start finishing stuff too. I've got that rock bouncer. I just went and bought some more stuff for it. Try and finish that up here soon. All right, so I should have some bearings. We'll need these. All right. So we can start with these. We're going to put bearings in here. Looks really dark. Putting bearings in here. You can see I've just scrapped the whole idea of the gloves now. Techno, that's one I need to get, is a Techno Monster truck. I'm going to put these bigger bearings in here, and then on the outside we're going to be putting the smaller ones that we have left. And again, greasy on my, had grease on my thumb for the inner side of it. You can see it's greased inside and outside. And this is our number 1, which goes on this side. Number 2 is next. Building kit is the best thing to do during self-quarantine. I'm hoping to get through a couple. I have this, and I bought the SCX10 and then I have that rock bouncer I need to build, as well as finish up my SCX24 course. All right. So everything is staying held in place. These are going to slide on here. But before we do this, I'm just kind of fitting everything. We need to get these cups. And so these are going to push through. And take these drive cups, and you're going to push them through from the inside, like so. And there you have it. It's going to slide right on here. Just line it up. It'll fit right over. What's up, RC Workbench? We have in here 2. All right. So I'm not sure where those other. Where did I forget those? Did I forget them somewhere? Oh, they still go in the rear. Okay. Still need them in there. I was starting to freak out. All right, so what we need now are some more of these. Screws that we were using before. Close it up. This thing is a greasy mess. There it is. I'm going to wipe it all down. Clean it up a little bit here. Yeah, it's good. This is my first axial kit to actually put together. I haven't done an axial kit before. And so far, I'm not doing a good job of following the directions. There's the hole. My problem is I've built these enough times that I know these axles pretty well. All right. That's the first one done. All right, so now we're going to need these guys right here. I go on the rear axles. But before we do that, we do have to put in these bearings into the axles. So we do have to pull them out. Kind of assemble like this is what I'm going to do. So slide this in. Because then this will slide right over like so. Real easy. So that don't seem right. And, what am I missing? Ah, I had it right the first time. This bearing here. All right, so if these ones got all this in, we're going to put this bearing right on top of here, like so. Slide this on. That way it'll sit right in there, hold it nice and snug. A little bit different process than the other one. As far as where the bearing will go in and the placement. A little bit of grease on here. Kind of getting sleepy, guys. It does have grease on it. Not enough, though. Come on, find it. There it is. Coffee is your friend in these situations. Yeah, I've got some Coke Zero is what I have at the moment. I haven't been drinking it. It's sitting over there completely full. Huge, darn it. Huge amount of it, too. That's the thing I miss are my big gulp runs. I like me some big gulps. All right. Jesse, man, we're building. They're doing the build series right here. I'm stopping to do it to camera. but also doing a live stream. So people that want to follow the whole thing can follow the long, arduous way I've been doing it. All right, so to finish this off, we're going to add in smaller screws here to top and bottom. Like so. Yeah, what I should have done is that. Stuck a screw through. I just twisted this one axle. The axle tube inside it's not lined up right. So once I get it in there, what I should do is just drop one of these longer screws through it just to hold it in place. It's not really doing anything other than holding it in place right now. Would have been smart. Social distancing is okay now, apparently. How do you keep the shocks from leaking? I don't. I just refill them. And even that, I don't do that frequently. Maybe Josh Rhodes has some advice there. I really haven't. Mine haven't leaked too bad, honestly. In the trucks that I have. But I did change out to some Proline ones on one of my trucks, so maybe that's why I haven't noticed it. Yeah, see, mine aren't making a mess. I did just blow a shock with a bad landing, and it made a mess. The top threading came like cross-threaded, pulled on it weird. So a lot of people, yeah, run other shocks in it. Have you run the stock shocks at all yet with these, Josh? Weird, it's not seated right. Huh. So I don't know why this isn't seating right. Sean's RC Adventures most axial shocks leak. Now that one's not down all the way. I was wondering why this wasn't seating right. This doesn't look like it's screwed in all the way. That's better. So this is the stuff that makes build videos so much fun to make. You're always trying to keep the camera out in front of what you're working on out in front of the camera. It's kind of awkward way to work. Kind of wrenches your back a bit. Alrighty guys, so there is the finished one. We do still have to add in the little grub screws here, top and bottom, just to keep dirt from getting in here. So they've got a bunch of these that we're just going to screw in to fill these holes up. So one goes right in the bottom here. Bottom of the arm. Oops, don't go too far. Literally just keeping the junk from getting inside the axles. And here's the third one on the top. So I have Proline shocks I put in my sticker bomb, and then I run the axial ones on everything else though. Maybe I don't run it hard enough, because a lot of those now I just really race them. I don't go out and bash them every day. But honestly, I did have to refill one of them recently because you mentioned it, they were really low. Josh Rhodes says you should probably use those grub screws. Never have. Yeah, they're good. They're helpful. I'm missing one. 1, 2. Oh, wait, did I do the bottom or top? I did the top. It's got to go in the bottom because this is going to be a mounting hole or something else. All right. Now we need to work on the trusses. Don't want to throw something away. So I'm saying those axles, which ones are we talking about here? All right, so let's go ahead and look at what we're doing next with this. We have to put on these trailing arm receivers. They're going to go here. Like so. And these long screws are what go in those. These are 2.5 millimeter hexes. So what's nice, there you go. So what's nice about these guys is when I do want to change out that ring and pinion, it's literally just like 8 screws, 4 here on this diff cover. Take out those 2 that hold the diff in place, kind of pull it. You do have to loosen these and pull, I guess, to the sides to let it free out that diff. But really easy to get in. It doesn't bother me to go in once it starts clicking and change that out. That's why I decided, even though they're not here, the HD set, I'm going to go ahead and run it, and then I'll put the HD set in my, I have a whole toolbox of just SMT10 parts, and so I'm going to go ahead and put them in there so they're ready when I do start to hear this thing click. There we go. That, and then we need to do one of these. That truss just sits right on top, allows you to put your links on the top as well. And the screws are pretty obvious in the manual what to use. Yo, we still live? I forgot to plug in the computer. Oops. To pick back up where I left off. So tell me when Horizon releasing the Arma hoodie? I haven't seen that yet. All right, it looks like it's back. Sorry about that. Forgot to plug in the compy. So the rear was like this. Might have put too many of those little button heads in here. Let's see where that truss goes. I don't understand where that other grub screw goes based on the directions. Bottom. I don't know. Weird. That's where I put one, it doesn't actually go. It's like that one needs to come out. maybe it's saying it's going to go into the top of here later. April Fools. You guys play any cool April Fools jokes? You have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hoodie? That's cool. My favorite was Michelangelo. I see you guys all saying who your favorites were. All right. See, these are pieces that I hadn't ever actually taken off the axles. So I'm saying I've tore them down, but I haven't taken the trusses off. They're usually assembled when I have them. Josh says Raph. All right. All right. Now for the rears, we got to add the trailing arm holders as well. I probably shouldn't have had this one with the 2.5 on it. It seems to be least used. Chuck Hall says he told his sister he billed her for a $900 RC car. That's hilarious. And he got a receipt he found online to sell the idea. That's hilarious. So you could do it as an extra axle? That's what it looks like. Pretty cool. Which tool are you asking about, All Out RC? The driver bits are MIP. I had Integy ones, but the Integy ones were hard to get. So these are just MIP ones, and these are the rounded heads, so I can get at things at an angle, but I can just put them into different drivers. This is from Walmart, and I've had this for I don't know how many years. This one's from Home Depot. One time I thought I lost the charger for this, so I went and bought another, and I bought the Ryobi. See, am I missing any steps yet? Almost to bag B. Man, only to bag B. I feel like this should not have taken me this long. Doesn't help trying to film it all, though. Yeah, these are awesome. The Integy ones, here's the two for this. They're great. And so if I have two of them, I don't have to keep switching out the heads on them all the time. But it's way faster than hand screwing everything in. With the caveat to just be careful. All right, last piece is these threaded screws go right through here. Only 23 more bags to go. Haha, not. These only have like J. But I think the chassis is going to be a little bit. I mean, the arms are pretty easy to put on, trailing arms. Everything's pretty easy to do. What I'm scared about having to do is the video editing. Going to be a nightmare. All right, so let's clean all this up. What else do we need? When are we going to put on servo brackets? Later. Okay. Good to know. We can wrap up this video now. Alrighty, guys, so that is it. We wrapped up the axles for part. All right, guys, so that's it. We wrapped up bag A. We still have a few pieces you'd think you'd get to in bag A, like putting on the mount for the servo. I mean, it's here. You'd think you just mount it, but they're making us wait for that till later on. So the axles are done. You can see basically what we've accomplished is all the internals and putting on the upper brace here. We put on these trailing arm receivers that are going to go to these guys here later, like so. They're going to mount in here. And, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Pretty easy to have one that's for turning. And it's just you definitely have to pay attention, though, guys, to which way you mount in the differential in the case. They're very specific about that in the direction, so hopefully you followed that correctly and it's going to work properly when you get there to actually getting it up and running. It'd be a pain to have to take it apart and flip it around. Not the end of the world. It's an easy enough fix, but it's not fun when you want to get out there and run. So next we're going to go ahead and be doing the trailing arms, and we're also going to be doing this front steering, and so that's going to be bag 2. So we'll go ahead and get these ready. I do have an update for this coming in the mail, and so we probably won't be running this plastic one. I always do hot racing ones, but they are not available right now. I can't find the ones. In color they are, but I want black ones. So I'm trying something else by Teal or something I found on Amazon. It's not the hot racing I'm used to, but it looked like the same kind of design, but a flat bar. You'll see it when we get it on there, but those are going to be the next steps, and we'll keep this thing moving. Get that steering servo and stuff as part of bag C, and we'll get to there. Hopefully we'll get through to at least bag C, B, C in the next build. So this one required a little bit more because we did have to build the insides of the axles, do a little bit of grinding and that, but we're moving right along. So thanks for tuning in. As always, guys, have fun RCing. We'll see you in the next video. Would you guys believe I wasn't recording? It's probably good because I rambled all over myself. Alrighty, guys, so that is it. The axles are completed. This is bag A and part of bag the plastics 1. There are still some leftover parts. One of them I thought would have gone on already, but it is not one of them that you do yet. So it's, I think, bag C when we'll finally get to install this. So just make sure you don't lose these pieces and put them somewhere nice and handy. But yeah, basically, so this is your front axle, and you just want to pay attention to where the diffs are supposed to be when you put them together. Pay close attention to the direction that they're facing and the axles are facing when you build it. And you should be good to go when you slap it together. So this is going to be front here and then rear. And it looks like we are good to go on that. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, we'll look for you in the next video when we're going to be going through and putting on the links that you can see here. And hopefully we'll also get to bag C, which is going to be for installing the servo. And so we're hoping to get to that point at least. So All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next video. I hate when that happens, right? All right, now back to you guys. I'm done with this thing. All right, still have audio. That's the other thing that happens is maybe the batteries go on your... Gotta hold this thing in forever to turn it off. Yeah, pretty neat little setup there with the monitor. Xavier's here. How's it going, man? Josh Rose says stock steering on the SMT is actually pretty nice. Yeah, you know, it is pretty thick. It's probably not necessary to change it out. I just have on every one of them because on the other axials there's so much flex here, and I just didn't want that in slop in my steering. But with the crawlers, it's much more noticeable when you get stuck on a rock or something. But the flex in these is probably actually not a bad thing when you land weird and take some of that flex. So RC Master, that's why I have checklists. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but you get into the middle of it and sometimes it'll stop recording because of whatever reason, and then you don't realize it for a while. I don't know when I turned it off, so I have no idea what I didn't film. That's the bummer. Sometimes you hit the record button and it doesn't start, and you just don't catch it. That's another bummer when that happens. That kind of stuff just happens. What do I recommend for drive shafts? I run the stock ones now. When I went away from the stock ones is when I started having a lot of the diff issues. But they're so easy to change, the stock drive shafts, that I would rather them just bend and twist if I have too much torque or power. So what options did I miss or pick? RC Master. Bigger tires, J-Concept tires. What else we got? Big servos. I don't actually know which servo I'm doing. I bought a Reefs, but that's for my rock bouncer. So usually I just do like an Eco Power or something with these. I say that, but then that one's got like a really nice ProTech, and that's got a really nice Savox. My race ones have decent ones. But for now, I'm probably just going to do an Eco Power. I've run those on trucks, and they've been good enough. But yeah, so I do the stock drive shafts. I probably shocked some people, but I had MIPs on them all, and I just kept messing the diffs up. And I found that you might even pretzel it, but if it wasn't too bad, you could still keep running it. If it was just a little twisted, it wasn't too bad. There came a point where it was like not working when it was twisted too much, but I just prefer that then. Everybody, you know, just feels like you have to go metal everything, and that's just not my take on things. I find that a lot of stuff works pretty good with plastic still. These don't. These bend if you do a heavy one. If your truck gets heavy or you land, these big wheels especially, you'll see these start to crumple in on them. So I call MIP's next thing going in is TRX4. Hate the plastic stock. Yeah, and so in my crawlers, I do MIPs, and I have them in my slashes. I don't know. I've just found that with these, that's when I've started to have more problems with them. So I'm trying to see. No, that one's running MIPs up there. Okay, actually, no, I lied. I'm running MIPs on through 2 out of 3 of them. And we'll see what happens. I said doo-doo. All right, Xavier, man, have fun at work. I'm going to get ready for bed. 1:30. Sheesh. I haven't even edited the video I just shot. So hopefully that was a fun look behind the scenes. That's not actually how I normally shoot my videos. Because of you guys being there, there's definitely more talking during different parts and not paying attention to the video as much. Between things, I was paying attention to you guys versus what's going on with the camera. So we'll see how it all turns out. Gotta undo my microphones. Baja or Rock Ray or Link, those work. RH Designs has really good link kits available. I have Vanquish ones coming for mine. And so that build video actually will not be happening for a couple days because I have to wait for them to arrive because I'm not going to put these on. So it's kind of going to be a build kit video, but it's also kind of going to be a here's what I'm doing build video. Still use the upper links. I'm just going to swap these out. So the build will pretty much be the same, except I won't be using plastic ones. RH Designs. RC Master. Yes, I've used a mirror before. It works. It's a pain in the butt to put a mirror up, though. Sometimes I'll just shoot from the other side and just flip it in editing. So instead of looking across up at your hands, it feels like the hands are above. It feels, It's still hard to know what you're showing to the camera, and you're looking at the parts that you want to be seeing, and the mirror. Yeah. What I can do actually though is I have a bar that I run across the table here. And I can actually put a GoPro or something above and film from that angle. But I find that it's not the greatest, and it just becomes an editing nightmare. And I edit all day for work. I don't want to put in that much time editing for this stuff. That's what it really comes down to, and storing all the video files and all that. So, and really what it comes down to is making sure that you're telling the processes and the steps in order and showing it. I've watched a lot of like what RC Sparks does, and I really like where he's gone, where he doesn't actually, he says what he's going to do and then shows you it after, and how it went together. It tells you how the pieces are going to work, and then shows you after. People don't need to necessarily see it actually happening. They just want to know the steps. And I broke that down by going out of order too, because I knew I was going to be doing the grinding, and I wanted to get all the greasy stuff done first. But RH or wait? RH Designs. I put a link to him in my last video on YouTube. It's in the description. There's to his Facebook page. He's got really awesome. Josh has some on his one of his builds he's working on right now. I know, but is there something better? I mean, there's a ton of people that make the links for him. One time I used like Blue Monkey or somebody like that. Blue Rant. When I got him for my Yeti, I can't remember who I got. I get the what do I have on mine? So I have I have the Vanquish ones on mine. And they're for the Yeti, is what I get there. Yeti trailing arms. They're all linked. Everything I said I'm going to use on mine is linked in the last video where I did a whole parts thing and showed all the stuff that I'm using. So that video has a ton of links on it. And yeah, they're just called the Yeti trailing arm by Vanquish. I like how those go together, how they tighten down a lot. All right, CRC Master. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to check out. Thanks for tuning in to the live stream. And a little bit different. I haven't ever done it. Who yelled at you, Chuck? Somebody takes it too serious. Josh is out. See you, Josh. I missed him. Leaving. Sean's out. Everybody's out. Yeah, it's getting late. So I'm going to get out too. And we will catch you guys next time.